I'm changing who I am. I'm making a new plan. Rearranging.
Hello everyone, Jay's Voicecast here. Welcome to my journey into voice casting. So I told you guys before that I was taking a couple of courses I signed up for. So the first course, Chris Grant's course, the VO Gym course, completed that last week. It was good feedback, good information, and I plan to use it going forward. Stuff that I've heard before and tried using it, but of course, you kind of fall out of it, so you really got to keep practicing it. That's where I'm at today, trying to put that in my head and make it a habit. It would be great if all those auditions would roll in when I want them to, but of course, daylight savings time in the States, they're coming in later for me than they had been when you guys were on basically standard time. You went off daylight savings time. Spring forward, fall back. Here in Japan, we don't change, so we're steady. Getting the auditions later means I'm already at work, so they're popping in. There might be 1 or 2 in the morning, but the rest of them start showing up when I'm at work, like 8 o'clock. And I'm like, oh man, I really want to do that one. Well, no, it's not going to happen. They've kind of slowed down on Saturdays. I don't know if it's just this time of the year. It seemed like it's slowing a bit for Saturdays when I get like a bulk of them in, and I could, do several, 4 or 5 out of the batch that show up that I like, that I feel I'm qualified to do, if you want to use that term. So as far as what was laid out in the course, Chris prompted us to make sure we use our bodies when we talk. When you're more relaxed, your body's relaxed and everything, you tend to be yourself more. That is the key. Be yourself. No one can be you but you. No one is a better you than yourself. Pay attention to the copy. And he gave us a few rules. The rule of 3. So you kind of break up your sentences as you read them. So instead of reading like word for word with all the paragraph, punctuation, grammar, all that in there, you read it as if you're talking to somebody. So pick somebody out that you know, a friend, close friend or whatever, and say, hey, Mike, I noticed the other day your car was having a problem. Well, down at so-and-so Chevrolet, and lead into it. And you may see commas, as I mentioned before, in there, which can throw you off when you're reading it because your mind wants to put that comma in there and read it as it was meant to be. And he puts it, commas and other grammatical marks are just suggestions, not rules. If it doesn't make the copy read clean, then, skip over it. You want to get the flow of what's being said. Draw the listener in. One of the other things he mentioned was don't talk loud. Talk loud enough to be heard and enough to get a clean read, but you want to draw the listener in so that they're forced to listen to what you're saying, paying close attention. It doesn't mean you talk in a whisper, but you do talk in a normal voice, clear voice, but don't overmodulate. My brain is a slave to punctuation and grammar, so I tend to put that in there when I'm reading it and incorporate the commas, the semicolons, dashes, hyphens, etc. And it's really hard if you don't get any specs with your read to tell you what the mood is, what you're trying to say, what you're accomplishing, what the character is doing, the backstory on a character if you're reading an animation piece or something like that. When you get a narration piece, like for an audiobook, or you're reading a narration for a company that's doing training, you want to make sure you don't bore them, but you don't want to be overly excited and, kind of mess up the whole read. They're going for you must do these step-by-step instructions, if that's the case. The next class coming up is with Austin Moret. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is on animation. This one I've really been looking forward to. I'd like to learn some animation techniques, how to modulate my voice and kind of come up with characters. I do it at work. We're goofing around with friends or whatever. You make silly comments and silly accents. You get kind of self-conscious, even though you're sitting in front of a mic. That's the whole, please relax. Just relax and be yourself. talk to your friends, talk to your buds, treat them the same way on the mic, doing the read as you would in a relaxed environment, just chilling. So I haven't done any research on if there are folks out there teaching accents. I'm pretty sure someone out there is doing it. I just have to take the time to go look. Again, real life tends to get in the way, so you get sidetracked doing multiple things. Got to come up with that schedule. I'll know more after the next course, which is this month in a couple of weeks. So I did have an idea while riding my motorcycle the other day. I was out there. And I was out there for a while. And about 10, 15 minutes before I get back to the house, it hit me. I could have done this podcast while on the bike. It would have had video to go with it. I could have posted it on YouTube as well as on Buzzsprout. That would have been a nice addition. Some video to go with the audio. You could have sat there and something to look at while you're listening to me talk. I got to do something with that battery, though. I think it was running in 5K, recording in 5K. I may should move it to 4K or lower so I get more time out of that battery. I was only out for a couple hours, and I did kind of leave it running, even when I went in the store and whatnot. So that's probably part of it, too. I didn't stop it. I just let it go continuously. And the other part of that is I have done some vlogging, moto vlogging. I have some stuff that's already up there. You can find that on my linktr.ee/ericrjones. It'll take you to that page. So that's about it for this episode. Thank you for listening. Feedback is always welcome. Subscriptions are welcome, highly encouraged. There are links at the bottom of the show notes. And if you have advice or suggestions, please share. I'm still here. Thank you for joining me on EJ's Voicecast, and I will catch you on the next episode.